Welcome back. It is the Flow Sports Hour on Flow FM. The Copper Coast SA Masters Games are happening on the Yorke Peninsula from Thursday the 11th to Sunday the 14th of April. It is coming up very fast. And Lynn Spurling, the Tourism Coordinator of the Copper Coast Council, and as part of that role, she's also tasked with heading up the SA Masters Games. She's on the line with me to tell us everything we need to know. G'day, Lynn. Thanks very much for joining me.
Hi, Dan. Great to be having this chat with you.
Well, the region hosted the Games in 2021 and 23, and this is the first time ever that Sports SA has given hosting rights to a region 2 years in a row. So you guys must have done something right last year and 3 years ago as well.
We've been very fortunate to have held very successful games. So the 2021 Games, we actually attracted a record-breaking 1,600 plus registrations. I think it was timely. We had just sort of come out of lockdown from COVID, so everybody wanted to travel, and the Copper Coast is such a fabulous place to visit. So that was extraordinarily successful, which gave us the opportunity to win the bid to host again in 2023. And so last year we hosted over 1,100 people competing in the Games, and yes, very excited that when we bid to have it again this year in 2024 that it was awarded to us again. So we must be doing something right.
Must be, and you're certainly right. It is a beautiful part of the world, the Yorke Peninsula, and certainly a fitting host for this game. It's got great facilities and, everything that you need, really. So let's talk about the Games. There's a lot of sports that are going to be going on. There's an opening and a closing ceremony. It really is like a mini Olympics. So what are some of the highlights that you're looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to welcoming everybody, whether it's their first time here or whether they're returning participants, to just be in the Copper Coast and enjoying everything that we have on offer. And it's great to see the athletes out there giving it their best and having the opportunity to compete against people of similar ages and experience. But it's really quite social as well. So I know that a lot of friendships have been forged over the time. And so it's great to just be able to support that sort of healthy ageing lifestyle opportunity.
And registrations for the Games are open now, is that correct? There's still time to register?
That is correct. Yes. So registrations are pouring in. So we're over the 700 mark at this point in time, but we obviously are aspiring to get a lot more in the next couple of weeks. Registrations are open until the end of March, and that will then give us the opportunity to look at our program and schedule all of the competitions and things like that. In the lead up to the actual Games, which will start on Thursday the 11th of April. We're doing things a little bit differently this time. Our welcoming event is actually on the Friday night. We had a bit of feedback that some people just come for the weekend to compete in those sports. So we just have moved the welcoming event to the Friday evening to give as many people as possible the opportunity to come along, see the Masters Mile, which is where they actually run an actual mile, which is very fitting, and then celebrate with us with the Athletes March, and then the official sort of opening of the Games. Then, of course, up to 4 days of fierce competition, and then we have a closing event on the Sunday afternoon evening, which is going to be a lovely social evening with some music and food and beers and whatever else people might like to indulge in. So, we're really looking forward to that celebration as well.
Fantastic. That sounds like it'll be a highlight of the entire weekend, and I think that's a smart move, putting it on the Friday so that the weekend comers can get along to that one. And what's the minimum age requirement to compete in the Games?
Well, that does depend on the different sports, so it's it does change. But I think for things like cricket, the minimum age is 35. So, it's people that have just got a bit of experience, I suppose, in sport rather than necessarily aged.
All right. Well, it sounds like I'm not quite meeting the requirements, unfortunately. So I'll have to touch base with you again in a few more years. But no, that's great. So
we'll get anybody from that age right through to. Last year we actually had somebody competing in athletics that was well into his 90s. And we do have some people that play tennis that are of a fair age as well. And that's I think the most rewarding thing of the games is just being able to see so many people just coming together in like-minded spirit, I suppose, to participate.
Absolutely, whether it's the SA Masters Games or the Australian Masters Games or whatever, it's always a great thing to see that age is no barrier for so many people. And in the past, I've seen people competing in the National Masters Games who are getting very close to the century milestone, and it's just remarkable to see. No Centurions signed up just yet for this year?
Not yet, no.
All right, well, we'll be waiting in anticipation. Let's hope so. But yes, it always is great to see when age is no barrier. Let's zero in on some of the sports. One that's caught my eye is the dragon boat racing. This sport seems to be gaining popularity all over the place. Is this one of the big highlights?
It is one of the big highlights, and we're very fortunate, of course, because we have a marina at Wallaroo. And so we have the ideal location for the racing to happen, and for all of the spectators and anybody that wants to come along and watch to actually get a really good view of the boats. And I don't know, it's something about that drumbeat of the dragon boats as they all sort of paddle in time that is just amazing to watch. So, and very competitive.
Yes.
Out there wanting to win.
As all good Masters sports should be. And you've also got pickleball on the menu, which is the fastest growing sport in the world, and can't really escape to talk about pickleball. So how are the entries looking for this one? Lots of people keen to get involved?
Yes, lots of people. Some interstate people are competing as well. They're coming to South Australia and to the Copper Coast to compete. And it's the first time actually that it's been offered at an SA Masters Games. So we're thrilled to be hosting it. And yes, we have got a lot of entries. It's absolutely surprised us.
Clearly, the fastest growing sport is the fastest growing sport everywhere. It's not just in America or Europe or wherever. It's happening all over the place. So that will definitely be a highlight. Have you had to get special courts painted anywhere, or are they just being played on tennis courts?
No, we're very lucky that we already have a pickleball competition happening at the Copper Coast Sport and Leisure Centre. So we're able to obviously use the facilities that they have. And we're actually going to have the opportunity for people those that are not competing in pickleball, to have a come and try at the opening event, the welcoming event. So, if anybody wants to pick up a racket and have a try, then they'll be encouraged to do so.
Excellent. And obviously there's a few sports on offer as well that might be more suitable for those that are a bit more challenged in their mobility. There's bowls, darts, indoor rowing and radio-controlled boats and table tennis as well. So not all sports that you see at the Olympics, but no doubt big hits at the Masters Games.
Most definitely. And I might mention too that croquet always has a very good following and lots of participants in that. Yeah, so there's something for everybody, really.
I beg your pardon, I missed the croquet there. That's an excellent one to be having there.
It is an excellent one.
I gloss right over it next to the cricket. So there you go, very good. And
it is very social as well, I must say. They do have a fabulous time coming and competing for cricket.
Excellent, very good stuff. And the Masters Mile, no doubt, is another marquee event. So I take it this is exactly what the name suggests. It's a mile run.
It is, exactly. To the inch, I suppose you have to say.
Yes. Yes, getting nice and imperial there. But
that's right.
Yes, so it's what, about 1,600 metres, but obviously might be a couple of extra inches involved there.
Well, we get out with the measuring wheel and make sure that it is spot on, so that we've got that exact mile for them to run. And once again, yes, it's open to anybody to compete in. Obviously, a lot of the people that do athletics do compete, but it is open to anybody who's coming along to compete in the Masters Games. And it's great to actually have the Masters Mile as a prelude to the actual Athletes March and our welcoming event. So, we encourage everybody to come along, and if they're not competing, to come along and encourage those that are.
Fantastic. All very well organised, and that's going to be a good spectacle for sure. And what about the equestrian? Do you get many entrants in that? I imagine that one might be a bit tougher with obviously needing to have the horses there, and there's a fair bit more equipment involved. But how does that one all go?
No, the equestrian community are very supportive and all support each other. They actually camp at the equestrian venue with their horse floats and obviously with their horses. They have a fabulous 4 days of different events from, jumping to dressage to all sorts of things. So I'm not an equestrian person, sorry. I like horses as long as they're out there in the paddock. But it's very popular, and they have a great time with their horses competing in all the different events.
Well, if not equestrian, Lynn, what will you be suiting up for in the Games?
Oh, I'm going to try for a gold medal as the best coordinator.
All right, well, I think you're firmly in the lead for that one. As we said at the start of the chat, it is the first time that the same venue will be hosting 2 years in a row. So obviously did a lot of things right last year, and a lot is going right so far this year. Mm-hmm. And just tell me a little bit more before we wrap up about how great this is for the local community and how much it sort of drives tourism over this weekend. Obviously, the Yorke Peninsula is such a beautiful place, and it's it brings tourists in all by itself during the summertime, but that's probably a bit more challenging getting into this time of year. So, obviously this is something that really helps with that.
Well, it does. Copper Coast is a fabulous place to visit regardless of what time of the year it is, but you're quite right that this is sort of our shoulder season, so it's great to have events that are going to bring people to the area outside of our normal summer season, because we are known for our beaches, of course. But it does mean that people are coming, they're staying here, they're shopping, they're needing fuel, they're supporting the community. And I might also add that our sports levy fees that people pay to compete actually go back to the clubs that are hosting the events. So it's a great way for our community and our volunteers who help us to deliver the games to actually get something back that they can then reinvest back into their club to make their facilities and their clubs stronger, which means that, we've got that sustainability into the future. So, it's of great economic value to us.
Excellent.
Have all of those people here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great. And just like in the Olympics, the host nation gets to sort of add in a couple of sports. There's no thought of Copper Coast getting to pick a couple to put in, because I'm sure there are some good surfers from the region who would fit the bill here, who wouldn't mind getting a gold medal for what's a normal Saturday morning hobby for them.
Quite true. That's a good thought. We'll have to see what we can do in the future.
Yes, you'll have to put it to the committee. I'm sure a lot of people, including my old man, would love to compete in a Masters surfing comp at some of those awesome surf beaches around the peninsula. I think some of them would just love an excuse to get down there and go surfing. Lynn, just before we do wrap up, is there somewhere people can go if they do want to register or just learn more about the Games?
Yes, most certainly. So they can either contact us direct at the Copper Coast Visitor Information Centre in Kadina, or they can go online to our website, visit coppercoast.com.au, and there's a Masters Games section there which will tell you everything about all of the sports, the events that are happening, and how you can register or participate.
Lynn, thank you very much for giving us all that info. You're doing a great job, and it's going to be a sensational Games next month. So all the best with it, and I'm sure you and I will talk again soon.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Dan.